speaking of fines, David Menzies was fined. And he was fined because he was in Peterborough at an anti-lockdown, anti-mask type rally. And while there and reporting, he not only was he reporting, I can't remember who all was there. I think it was Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier. You know, several people who've, I guess, been arrested in other places and have received tickets, all for like organizing and showing up to these anti-lockdown, anti-mask protests. And so David Menzies was interviewing them and interviewing the crowd, and then eventually was walking up to Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier, and he was smiling, laughing, shaking their hands, patting them on the back, that kind of stuff, with Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier, and he received a ticket in the mail indicating that, well, the police vaguely indicate that like he at least plays some role in organizing these protests, but it like wasn't worded perfectly like that. So I think part of what the police are getting at is that Rebel News, and especially with David Menzies, plays some sort of role in like promoting these protests by the reporting that's done on Rebel News. So he has some culpability there. But then it's also the fact of like, it's one thing saying that you're not going to wear a mask when you're doing your reporting because there's some sort of like exemption for like, I don't know, talking into the mic or something. You're allowed to put your mask down. According to Rebel, they always say this. But when you're not shooting footage and you're not actually doing your reporting and you're just chilling with people, smiling, shaking their hands, and laughing, the police wrote him a ticket saying that was not done. You were not socially distancing, you were not wearing your mask, and you were not doing your reporting business when we wrote this ticket for you. Okay? Now that's context for this, because what we're about to watch is David Menzies finds out that this Canadian television show that I've never watched, it's on the CBC, it's called Murdoc Mysteries. Apparently, he got a tip that's at some point during this show, there is a scene where people are going to be laughing and like shaking hands or something. And so he's going to Peterborough again, because this is where they're filming the show, to make a scene of like, why are the police not arresting these people filming this show? And so we'll watch that. Decided to drop out of the chat. Couldn't tell whether my voice wasn't coming through or if my voice is so grating people have to tune it out. Either way, better off in the chat. Yeah, you were just muted, Tim. Something you were getting an echo, but you had your mute on, so you got to find some way to like. But if you want some other time, we can try to troubleshoot it, and then next time you can hop on, no problem. Foiled by my own inexperience with the Discord. Yeah, it happens.
Definitely looking forward next time, Tim. I enjoy the dulcet tones of Australia.
We, especially if we get another Abby Emini segment, it'll be great. I know people in the film industry, and the COVID regulations are no joke. So not only are the COVID regulations no joke, and we're going to get into it, it's a different thing. Like, notice how I set it up, right? When David Menzies received the ticket for not wearing the mask and not socially distancing, it was when he was not doing his job. It was when he was like chit-chatting with people, shaking their hands and laughing in their presence, which is not like reporting. So if there is a scene in this movie where the actors, it is their job to play a scene in a time period where they're not wearing masks and they're going to be laughing or doing something, then that's not illegal under the regulations. But spoiler, he never sees the scene. But we're gonna watch David Menzies at least harass people on the set of this fucking show.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Peterborough. Well, folks, we were tipped off that an episode of Murdoc Mysteries is being filmed here. It's a CBC production, so I have absolutely no idea what Murdoc Mysteries is. But adding to the mystery,
there's something like you could just see their bulges, right? That's the thing that jumped out at me. That's cool. But he is right about CBC programming. I don't know that anything that's happening on the CBC. No offense to the CBC, but I don't watch a lot of television to begin with. Although the funny thing is, Schitt's Creek was a huge show. A huge show. So, like, you know, CBC can occasionally hit something that does pretty well. The mystery is how is this non-Daredevil Murdoch? As he doesn't know shit about what he's talking about, like, not even reading the wiki page. I mean, what, me? I mean, I don't know Murdoc Mysteries either. Obviously, it's a time period piece. Or a period piece of some kind.
What Murdoch Mysteries is. But adding to the mystery is we were told that there are scenes involving handshaking and laughter in the script. And as you well know, folks, handshaking and laughter is verboten in Peterborough. Yes, Staff Sergeant Dan McLean will give you a ticket, as he gave me back in April at the anti-lockdown rally. Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier also received tickets like that.
So notice, this is, you know, look at them. He doesn't have the microphone here. He's laughing. He's hanging around these people. It's a little different. He's not even, you can tell he's not even holding the mic. You can't see it on the screen, but it's literally just like resting in his, maybe I could like move, like, yeah, look at that. It's just resting on the piece of paper there, you know?
So
during a pandemic and following.
Okay, I have to explain this. I didn't realize I was going to get to this so soon. So, what this is, and we're going to cover, if you subscribe to the podcast, which I recommend you do. Ezra last week called the sergeant who wrote David Menzies the ticket, and he called him just so we could tell him that he nominated Dan McLean to be the worst cop ever. Why? Why would he do this? It is so silly. So they somehow got his goddamn number and are just like calling this cop to be like, you suck! Oh, it's amazing.
Following the legislation as according to the law and what it states under the Reopening Ontario Act, as far as the law and what the law states regarding maintaining 2 meter physical distancing, and if you can't do that, then you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, well,
is that what you're referring to? Is that what you're referring to, sir?
That is exactly what I'm referring to.
Are you aware of what the law, the Reopening Ontario Act states with respect to physical and social distancing? And
I've read the law.
What can you explain to me what the law states with respect to social distancing and physical distancing?
Now, that's a weird question to ask me. He's the cop.
I'm just...
So what? So... The cop explains that, like, yeah, this is the laws surrounding physical distancing. And then I guess sarcastically asks Ezra, like, well, do you know what the law is? Because what they cut out of this segment that you're seeing here is this cop is literally responding to Ezra just answering the phone by saying that he's the worst cop ever. And his response is, well, am I the worst cop ever because I clearly ticketed you based on what was happening? Just like, look at this picture. David Menzies is shaking the hand of this old woman in a park when they're supposed to be socially distancing. None of them are wearing masks, and it's clear he's not reporting. He's just chilling in this park with these activists. I'm sorry, bud. You got a ticket. Maybe don't break the law. I mean, that's their excuse always for everyone else, right? If you didn't want to get arrested, don't break the law. And then whenever they get arrested, it's like the worst thing in the world. And then they have the like the awareness that they're not going to be pursued in the same way that other people are, such that he can just call the cop on the phone and harass them. It's you know, what's the word? White privilege? It's a little white privilege going on here, David.
Just curious what the rules are when it comes to handshaking and laughter in the Democratic People's Republic of Peterborough these days. If you're doing it organically or naturally with somebody at an anti-lockdown rally, is that a ticket in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars? But if you're doing it as play acting, as part of, say, a Murdoc Mysteries taping, is that okay? And if so, why so? So we're just going to check out and see if we do actually catch any of the cast laughing and handshaking, because...
You notice as well, everyone you're seeing is wearing a fucking mask. Every single one of them. Even these people in the like costumes and like waiting, all the fucking staff on the side. Look at them. They're all wearing masks. Every last one of them. While doing their job. Yet somehow David Menzies can't wear a fucking mask while doing his. He's just like incapable of doing it.
Laughing and handshaking, because if we do, I think we have found a super spreader event occurring right here in Peterborough, Ontario. Sir, I'm just curious though.
And notice as well, like he wants to like, oh, well, if I could have potentially be causing a super spreader event because I was doing my job, now they're doing theirs, they could be causing a super spreader event. And it's like, okay, well, why isn't everyone just like without a mask breathing on each other in close proximity like you were in the park in Peterborough? Like, I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry you don't understand. It's weird. Like, I feel like this is a common thread with a lot of Rebel stuff, is they like don't understand nuance at all, and so it's like they get told like one little thing and then hit everything with a giant fucking hammer about it. But it's like, no, there's nuance here. You know, one of these things is not the same. You being at and promoting an anti-lockdown rally without wearing a mask and shaking people's hands and joyfully breathing on them is different than like these people who are professionally working on a movie set and all wearing masks and trying to be reasonably socially distant. Now, here's the thing. Of course, like in the scene, they're not wearing masks and they're acting. And he like refers to it as, oh, it's play acting. It's play acting. And here's the thing is like, part of me goes, should they be filming movies during the pandemic, period pieces where you're not wearing masks? I really don't care. Like, part of me is like, no, they shouldn't. Like, fuck it. Like, I wouldn't care if they were told not to do it. But they've been allowed, so they're doing it, you know? But I, frankly, why did we have hockey? Why did we have all these other things? Like, I would have shut them the fuck down too, so. But I'm not the mayor of this city.
I'm David Menzies, Rebel News, and we've been told on good authority that there are scenes involving handshaking and laughing in this taping of Murdoc Mysteries.
Can't answer any question. I don't know what's going on. I'm just on the outside, so.
Okay, but this might be good information for you.
I'm in a rush. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're in a rush.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea.
You know when people laugh, sir, or they shake hands, when they're greeting?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never heard of that?
Like, this poor security guy. Just chilling on the set of a movie. And David Menzies is like, I'm going to ask you these deep questions. Is there laughing in this movie? I need to know. Well, if I can do this thing, why does anyone else get to do anything vaguely similar? Regardless, well, if I can't do this thing, why does anyone else get to do anything vaguely similar? Regardless of precautions and context. Yeah, exactly. And notice as well, he's not wearing a fucking mask while he's doing that. He's going to harass all these people who are wearing a mask without a mask to make a fucking point about it.
That? No.
Nothing.
Excuse me, no footage, please.
Oh, why is that, ma'am? Sorry, you said no footage, but you're filming, right?
I'm not talking to you, sir.
Well, but you came to us and said no footage, but you're shooting. You know, this is very interesting. I see.
So it's a movie set. He's so embarrassing.
On the corner, a mask off area, and oh, hi, ma'am, how you doing? No, you know, you're in the mask off area. You don't have to be wearing your mask. Well, that's not very ladylike. Why would you do that?
Get away from me.
Oh, okay, are you part of Murdoc Mysteries or?
Get away from me.
Okay, then, but why would you be wearing your mask in the mask off area? Wow. That's kind of ironic, isn't it? It's the mask off area, but I think this lovely lady here just gave me the signal to F off.
Yes, she flipped him off.
Why has no one just like punched him in the fucking nose? Just once.
Yes.
Just
It would
like,
well deserve. Jesus Christ.
like, not to advocate violence against people, but like, if anyone at this point deserves it, you know.
I just can't like this has to be for like a long time too. Him just wandering around this fucking area, just harassing people. Which is like I've made this joke many times, but literally their whole shtick, all that Rebel News is harassment in the form of pretend journalism. That's all it is. Because all he does in this piece that we're watching here is harass people. What have we gained from this? He somehow got a tip, and I'd love to know where the tip came from. Who the fuck tipped them off that there was some sort of like hugging and laughter in the script? I don't even think they tipped off. They probably just made a good guess. There's probably laughter in a movie, and then like went to the set and then just started harassing people. It is also the fuck off area if you're the men. So yeah, I love it. Also, it's like I can harass people, totally cool, but saying fuck, I gotta watch myself. Gotta self-censor. You know, the free speech anti-censorship Rebel News self-censors all the time when it comes to cussing. Just a noisy, flailing pest that everyone wishes would go away. Yes. Yes.
Oh, hi, guys. Is this the COVID check-in? What is a COVID check-in, ma'am?
I'm not allowed to comment on anything, sorry.
You're not allowed to comment? Who told you that?
Sorry.
I want to find out what mean person told a nice lady like you couldn't speak. I thought, aren't we living in the age of women's liberation and all that?
No. What point do you think he was making there? Another woman told this woman working this table not to speak, and he's like, I thought we were living in an age of women's liberation. What woman would tell you, a woman, not to speak? And he's so like weird about it too, because like the other woman flipped him off, and he said how unladylike. So it's like that and this like put back together. I know it's hypocrisy, contradiction, all that shit, but it's just so stupid. I love when people criticize a woman for responding with aggression with, that's not very ladylike. It's just an amazing cell phone. It's the same as their understanding of rights. If women are liberated, that means no laws apply, and women should do anything you want them to do. Or women should be allowed to do whatever they want. So they're on this set. I mean, here's the thing is, we don't even know that she was told not to talk to him. She could just be like, I don't want to fucking talk to this weirdo. And then just using that as an excuse, which seems way more likely. I'm sure there's plenty of people she would be more than willing to talk to, but not some asshole in a fucked up hat with a shoving a microphone in her face.
I just noticed this mask off area for smoking, and I'm just wondering, does the virus know?
Speak, please.
Oh, yeah. Are you really that afraid?
Yeah, because we're in a pandemic right now.
Oh, okay.
And you have your mask off. So.
That's right, because I'm in the mask off area.
We still have to stay socially distanced.
Oh, I think we're more than 2 meters away, but how does the virus know not to infect somebody in a mask off area versus a mask on area?
No comment.
Where do you want us?
On the sidewalk, please.
On the sidewalk. Okay, well, we were on the sidewalk before and you told us to move off the sidewalk.
On the property, like
the thing, too, about this, like, mask off area is, like, yeah, there could be, like, the point about mask and social distancing. It's not like these two are mutually exclusive. So it's like, maybe this is an area where you can go and eat your lunch or have a smoke or whatever and still have to distance and not breathe on each other. It means that everyone in mask off area has gone through for their testing. I mean, that's another possibility. You socially distance further in the mask off area. You fucking yeah, exactly. People who go on set have to test every day. Yeah, I mean, I imagine the actors, especially if they're doing a scene in close proximity without masks on. Like, my guess is they have to be tested for sure. And so maybe the reason why it's a mask off area is to like warn people, because so far we've not seen people without masks in the mask off area. So I wonder if the sign is indicating that like behind these curtains where they're filming the show, that's where the masks are off, and so they're like preempting a warning kind of, so that you have to like have extra precaution when you go in that area. I mean, he has no context. Like, he's just reading a fucking sign on the floor.
Okay. Is this your property, sir?
My property, we were permitted. Okay.
But, and I'm still trying to find out how a virus knows not to infect people in a mask-off smoking area versus here. Do you think that might be a contagion problem, the butts in the bucket? Hey, I think I see some cast.
He's literally, it's almost like an attempt at observational comedy. Like, he's just walking around commenting on shit. Like, that's all that's happening here. Even behind the scenes peeps like set decorators. They do so much testing on these sets just to have the tiny level of confidence they have in these designations. And you've got maskless Menzies wandering in there like a plague-bearing Sasquatch. Yeah. Tim just said, what? The cigarette butts tossed in the trash will infect each other? Yeah, I don't know. Here, but I'm smoking. I don't care if I get...
Cast members, let's go see what they have to say. Oh, hi guys, are you at the Murdoc Mystery Show?
No comment.
No comment. Oh, boy. You look like actors to me, like a period piece, maybe 1890s.
I'm not allowed to speak about it.
Well, who told you not to speak, sir? You seem like a nice guy.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, even if you aren't, I've been told there were scenes involving handshaking and laughter in this episode. Is that correct? Oh, okay. Ooh, the royal wave there. How about you guys?
This guy fucking rocks. That's the best way to deal with David. Get out of here, you surface nuisance. I do not need you. I'm done with you. This guy too. Oh my god. I love the fact that they're dressed up in this.
Yeah, because Einstein on this show, any piece of paper, they can share anything, all information. So sorry guys, I can't do anything because that's its rules. Any show, they not share all information in media. You know, we need to go. Sorry.
You know, I don't think it's a spoiler if you tell me there's a scene involving handshaking or laughter, sir.
Sorry.
How about yourself, sir? Oh, you look like a police officer. We've had some nasty dealings with those in Peterborough. Hello.
I just want. I can't say what I want. I think that's illegal.
Did you hear him say hello? Hello. He saw people in a period piece and then put on a British accent.
How about yourself, sir? Oh, you look like a police officer. We've had some nasty dealings with those in Peterborough. Hello.
Like, no, Tim's in agreement with me. See, like it baffles the fucking mind that no one has just like whooped his ass. And maybe this is why he hangs out in like one, Canada, two, like not the bad neighborhoods of Canada. Because I feel like there are people that want to whoop his ass. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying I feel like there are some people that would be happy to whoop his ass.
I mean, he's gone through some stuff. We watch last week. He got bit by a dog. He and that homeless person hit him pretty good. He's also been hit by a campaign bus. He's been arrested several times, thrown to the ground by the police. You know.
But he's always such a bitch. And like your police, no offense, have really handled him with kid gloves. Like, oh, my hip, officer, I have a bad hip. You can't move me like that. No. Just throw him to the streets. Let the streets take care of him.
I mean, there was the time when he got arrested in Montreal where they like dragged him into the police tape and he had to chew through it like a dog.
Yeah, no, that's the time I'm talking about when he like whined about his hip. Like
my hip. Yeah.
I don't wish violence on anyone. I want to make that very clear on your podcast. But if a video were released of David Menzies getting his shit kicked in, it'd be hard not to watch.
Yeah, part of it too is I think he chooses his like targets to a certain extent. Like, there's no way these actors who are just chilling, doing their job, waiting for their next scene, are going to get up there and just punch him, right? They're just like, please leave me alone. Please leave me the fuck alone, you know? I mean, the homeless person was the one incident where you have someone who is in a state where, like, they're already desperate enough as it is, and so it's like, stop fucking filming me, I'm gonna attack you, you know? And deservedly so. It would be like David just walked in anyone's fucking house, storming onto this guy's like tent, you know? There are some activists who like pushed him and shoved him from him getting too like aggressive and in their face, but he always acts like the victim about it when it's like, no, this is like legit harassment. Like, show me any journalist that does this. And this is all Rebel does, you know? Which is why it's like weird that there's like some people within the Canadian media sphere that still wants to give some sort of deference to Rebel News and say, well, there's still journalists and we don't want to be like too blurry with this line and so forth. But it's like, it's just harassment. There's no journalism here. What have we learned here? We've learned that the actors on the set of Murdoc Mysteries do not want to talk to David Menzies. That's what we've learned.
Is it hot wearing that costume, sir? No. You know, for movie actors or TV show actors, they're very shy, these people. There's a fellow that keeps putting his hat in front of his face. He doesn't want to be recognized. I mean, you wouldn't want, I don't know, an LA talent scout to be driving by and cast you in the next Star Wars movie or something like that, would you? Oh. He must be doing really well in these Murdoc Mysteries. Say, man.
Like, even there, it's like you realize he's self-aware that these people are trying to hide themselves from him. And his reaction to this is, oh, like what? You're an actor. Don't you want to be known? Like, why are you hiding your face from like things? And it's like, maybe people don't want to be harassed by you, David. Like, every time we see these things, there's clear indications of people not wanting to be harassed by him. I mean, here, case in point, watch this person react to David. No one wants to be harassed by you, David.
We heard that there are scenes involving handshaking and laughter in this episode. Is that true?
When a man approaches a woman on the street with a microphone to camera, it's creepy.
Oh, is it?
It's creepy.
Oh, well, you've got lots of cameras and microphones.
You're being creepy.
You're speaking into a microphone right now. How's it going? Yes, good, sir. How about yourself?
She's not wrong.
Oh, no, she's not.
I love how just straight up is like, you're creepy. You're creepy. Because again, he's just stalking people on this fucking set. It's the Ezra line. I don't advocate or condone violence, but when people are pushed far enough at a certain point, I understand it. Yeah, exactly. We have them on popular Australian show, A Current Affair, but they're also absolute tabloid trash. So they do the harassment journalism too. He left it in. I mean, he leaves all of it in. I don't know. Somehow their audience still thinks that they're the victims, you know?
Video me. My name is Happiness.
Okay.
I'm the COVID. So
your Happiness?
Yeah. So I'm the COVID guy.
Okay.
So if you have to interact with our crew, you have to put on your mask.
Oh, but we're outdoors, sir.
I know, but you have to interact with them when you tie your mask.
Can you explain these mask-free areas, Happiness? Because how does the virus know not to infect somebody on that corner? No. Oh, for somebody called Happiness, doesn't seem very happy to me.
No one ever just looks at him and says, "Why are you being so fucking stupid? Why are you acting this way? Why are you a 50-year-old man-child? Why are you doing this?"
He's got to be in his 60s. He's definitely not 50.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, Jody. Come on.
He's got 2 artificial hips. He's not 50. He thinks the material owes the limbs. It's just so... It's so cringe. Like, everything about this. It's like, think about it. There's him and one other person filming, and they're just walking around this set while everyone is going, who the fuck are these people? Why are they weird and creepy? And then they're like, oh, this is great content. Let's throw it up on our Rumble and YouTube accounts and get all them views. Embarrassing.
I think I saw 2 people giggling. I don't know if giggling means all-out laughter, meaning you get a ticket here, but put that down the notebook. At approximately 2:50, there was an outburst of giggling.
I can't service you with no mask on.
Oh, what was that, sir? Sorry.
Service you with no mask on.
Oh, but I'm outside.
That's a joke, because I watch you too.
Hi, sir.
Oh, no. That's not the kind of interaction I enjoy. Dear Lord. The person working the food truck for all these actors is a Rebel News watcher. He's just breathing on all the food in the back of the van. Dear Lord.
Oh, but I'm outside.
That's a joke, because I watch you too.
Hi, sir. Hi, Doug. Sorry, no comment. Oh, okay. We're just going to ask if there's anybody laughing or handshaking on this episode. Never. Oh, okay. Well, I guess in the 1890s they didn't do laughter or handshaking. Oh, there goes the Peterborough police. I can't believe I can test them. Folks, can you believe?
Yeah, because the laughing was clearly what the issue is. Just imagine the brainworms they're confident their audience have, that they're willing to show them the entire thing and think that the Menzies comes off well. He's just a shithead pestering everyone and wasting everyone's time. Yeah. Well, he's not just wasting the people's time on the movie set. We're going to see some other fun shit he's going to do.
Our luck, Peterborough Police Headquarters is just a football field away from the location shoot for Murdoc Mysteries. I think it's my duty as a citizen to report a potential super spreader event. In other words, people handshaking and laughing on the set of Murdoc Mysteries. Hey, maybe even Staff Sergeant Dan McLean is on duty. You know, Canada's worst cop. Folks,
oh, yeah, one of these advertisements. I will note, his whole thing is that there is laughing and handshaking and stuff on the set of this thing. Yeah, have we witnessed that yet? Has he documented any incidents of what he believes is occurring on this set?
He's literally just walked onto this fucking set and started harassing random people. Like, people have nothing to do with fucking Ezra's little, crusade against the police or whatever. It's fucking stupid.
Right. So now let's watch what he does.
going forward in the future. Hey, gentlemen. How you doing? I'm David Menzies, Rebel News, and we're just down at 565 Water Street. 565 Water Street, just down the road. And we saw people handshaking and laughing.
Okay.
And we're just wondering, I believe that's against the law in Peterborough.
Okay.
Would you or maybe Staff Sergeant Dan McLean be giving a ticket for that? Or?
Use your washroom.
Well, I don't know. If,
Sure.
that's the case, you'd have to report the COVID, the breach.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
not come here personally.
No, like I'm on the front desk duty, so I'm on the road to deal with that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, officer.
So, already, so he just walks into the fucking police headquarters and tries to rat out this fucking movie, claiming that they're hugging and breathing on each other or some shit. Okay? And then they told him that you have to go and call the police because you can't just walk in and make a report. So he has to call. So this is the next stage.
You know, I'm beginning to think, folks, that maybe Peterborough, Ontario is where the British comedic troupe Monty Python was hatched it just gets more and more surreal. We went into police headquarters to report the super spreader event of handshaking and laughing happening on the set of Murdoc Mysteries, and the man said he couldn't help me, that I had to call instead. So we've come out of the Peterborough Police Headquarters to call the Peterborough Police Headquarters. I hope Staff Sergeant Dan McLean, aka Canada's worst cop, takes the call, but let's see what happens. Yes, hi, it's for police, please. Okay, go ahead with your emergency. Yeah, evidently at 565 Water Street, it's where the Murdoc Mysteries is being shot. We have spotted people laughing and shaking hands, which we understand is, again, against the Emergency Services Act or something like that. I'm just wondering maybe if you could get like Staff Sergeant Dan McLean out here to lay down the law.
So, it is worth noting that he just called the Peterborough Police to report a crime, which reporting a false crime is in fact a crime in Canada. You're not allowed to just call the police and make up some bullshit. That's you can't do that. I believe it's section 104 of the Criminal Code. I'll just check that up right now. Let me pull this up right now. No, it's not. It's not 104. Let me see. Reporting a false crime. Reporting false crime. Canada. Well, here we go. We got some law page here. Let's see what this law page. What are the consequences of filing a false report in Canada? See what David Menzies has done. By now, we have all been subjected. Okay, yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh, it's 140. The offense under the Criminal Code, which would be most applicable, is committing public mischief under Section 140. The section states, everyone commits public mischief who, with intent to mislead, causes a peace officer to enter on or continue an investigation by making a false statement that accuses some other person of having committed an offense. Just based on those two statements alone, do we feel that David Menzies likely broke the law and then posted it on his YouTube channel? Am I wrong in thinking that?
That fucking face. Good lord.
You can't, like, again, it's with intent because he's doing it on a lark. Like, even if you take the context of this clip and with this face, like, even this face is showing that he's not being serious here. He's like making a joke. So the intent is to deceive in the sense of like, he's actually calling the report line, but he's like doing it tongue in cheek, you know? So it's got the intent to mislead. And then he made a false statement because not once in any of the footage did we actually see someone laughing, shaking hands, or doing all the things that he says are taking place on the set of that film. Yeah. It's wild. Wild. Thumbnail, save it. Yeah, I'll probably have that as the thumbnail for this video. But he broke the law. I'm pretty sure he broke the law. I guess to the Rebel News audience, this is all very relatable. After all, their main demographic is unhinged boomer cranks who nobody likes or wants to talk to. Yeah. I think my camera froze, so I'm probably going to have to do a refresher. Of course. I'm also, it's indicating that there's a lot of frame drops, but I think that's just because it's a chilly Friday night, and so more people are at home on the internet is, I think, what is happening there. So I apologize for any of that. Eventually, I will upgrade internet. I guess I could say at this point, if you want to sub to the channel or join our Patreon or anything like that, all of it will help go to things like costs such as getting better internet and stuff like this, which will hopefully make the show better and all that fun stuff. Because right now, this is what I do. Right, is it working? There I am. Oh. There I am. Fixed it. Sometimes, usually it like resets itself, and I don't have to do that. Sometimes it does that.
That's right. Oh, there's lots of people. I would say maybe more than 60. There are people out front and down the side street and in the house itself. They're shooting, it's something called Murdoc Mysteries, because it's a CBC show. I've never seen it.
Like, he's breaking the law right on camera. I can't fucking believe it. Now, my guess is he's just completely fucking ignorant about the law, but it's quite amazing.
Yes, my name is David Menzies.
He even gave them his name.
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay, we've got the call on here. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. What can I say? We're back at the...
He gave them his name. God damn it. Oh my God, David Menzies, why? Why are you a thing? Why do you exist with your fucking weird hats?
Scene of the crime. I gotta tell you, it's been about 10 minutes since we put in that call.
You harassed
and
people
given that the police station is a football field away, it's kind of funny, not a single constable is on site yet. I mean, you think that sleepy old Peterborough is the south side of Chicago or something. I mean, what takes the police so long? And we know that laughing and handshaking is very, very serious indeed. Just ask Canada's worst cop, Staff Sergeant Dan McLean.
The physical distancing and not wearing a mask, then at that time, that is an offense under the Reopening Ontario Act. Do you understand that?
Do you think that's the law? That it's illegal to shake hands on the street? You really think so?
And by the way,
yes. If you're not wearing a mask and you're not socially distancing at a rally that's promoting not to socially distance and not wear a mask and against the lockdowns, then yes, you are in fact breaking the law. Correct. Now, he could try to fight them, but what did we say? He's only had 100 wins in court over the Fight the Fines initiative? And all of those were technicalities. So good luck fighting this. Good luck.
I really do hope it is Staff Sergeant Dan McLean that responds to this emergency. I mean, for people in the film production business, I've never seen the utterance of no comment made so often. But Staff Sergeant Dan McLean, he loves the limelight. Do you know, they pay him over $140,000 a year.
I wonder what we can do about this problem. I wonder if there is a social movement that has started very recently to pick up speed, where we had several thousand people across this province, 10,000 even locally to us, London, Ontario, to protest, to defund the police and lower police budgets. Because yes, this is absurd, David. And yet, on his fucking show, you never hear him point to any of that stuff. The only time he wants to fucking defund the police is when they write him a ticket for violating COVID restrictions. And they're treating him with the kindest kid gloves in doing so. His boss called the sergeant and harassed him. He just filed a false report. He's been on the street harassing people. And the police have treated him so gently, like a little child. And yet there is a movement that wants to defund police. It's called Black Lives Matter. And even though David Menzies will not advocate for them, I will. Also worth noting that they've complained on their show several times about how that defunding is going to ruin everything. Yet he's complaining about police salaries.
To be a staff sergeant plus benefits, but I think it's worth it because check out this interview with Global News a while back. It was Staff Sergeant Dan McLean on the incredibly important topic of Halloween safety tips.
Don't dress the kids in a costume that's too loose and it's difficult for them to walk in, and then put a mask on them too. And I remember as a kid too, when you're wearing those masks, you can't really see that grade. Consider put some reflective tape on the front and on the back. If you know that maybe your pets might not deal well with some kids knocking on the door, just keep in mind to think about maybe putting the...
I will say, he's playing this to mock it, but this shit is propaganda. That goes on all the time with our fucking like morning media in this country, is to put these cops on a pedestal and be like, and give like fucking silly advice like this, which is like, it might not be silly in the sense of like, yeah, a kid who's like short, wearing dark clothes, running around the streets at night might get hit by a car, and so you might want to add something reflective so that it'll like signify the police they don't run or signify a car and they won't get run over or whatever, right? Sound advice, but you give police as these like this platform of being like, look at this kind, nice police officer who's giving us this advice, and aren't police just so great? It's propaganda. And yet David is mocking it for being like childish and silly or something. But it's like the real thing to be criticizing here is like, maybe we shouldn't platform police and give them this veneer of like, look, they're here to protect us, when they don't really, you know? Because they're obviously not protecting the set of Murdoc Mysteries from David Menzies.
Those pets in a back room just for a couple hours. If you feed your child before they go out, then when they're out there, they can maybe resist that temptation of reaching into the bag and getting some of those goodies that's in the bag. But we always like to recommend that for the kids, try to resist that temptation of reaching into the bag and then eating that candy before they get home.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. If the little ghosts and goblins are going out trick-or-treating, what am I saying? I'm sure Halloween will be canceled this year again like it was last. But in case it does happen, put some reflective strips on their costumes. Gee, thanks, Staff Sergeant Dan McLean. We never would have thought of that without you.
Like, again, there's no substance of an actual critique there. It is literally, oh, what he said was silly. We couldn't have thought about that without you. But then it's like, it's one of these things where, like, I'm sorry, sometimes you need to have warnings on things because some people don't think of these things. And maybe it's important to have a warning. And good night, Nick. Sleep well. Sleep well.
You know what, folks? For some reason, the Peterborough police haven't arrived on scene. It's been almost half an hour. Maybe there's so many reported calls of handshaking and laughing that they don't have a cruiser. So why don't we put in a call to Staff Sergeant Dan McLean and see if he can weigh in on this matter?
So, Elron was saying earlier about the lack of consequences these people receive. And what have we seen so far? He's harassed people on this movie set. He went into the police department to file a report, then called the police department to phone a report, and now is calling the police officer who wrote him a ticket. Again, the privilege. the glaring privilege of this asshole to do this and know that he's going to get no like blowback from it, that he's going to be safe, that he's going to be treated all right. It's fucking astounding, and just more reason for why we need to defund the police. Like, David, like, at this point, David's harassing the police, and the police are not doing anything. It's fuck the police, you know?
Staff Sergeant McLean.
Oh, yes. Hi, Staff Sergeant McLean. It's David Menzies of Rebel News here. I'm just down the road from you. I'm at 656 or 565 Water Street, rather. There's a filming of Murdoc Mysteries taking place here, and we have seen reported instances of handshaking and laughter.
Mr. Menzies, I'm not going to comment with respect to that.
I don't know if you heard that, but you can clearly hear a deep inhale before he gives his answer. I'm not going to comment. Look, I don't sympathize with police, you know. But Rebel News constantly is pushing me to the edge of sympathizing with the fucking police. At least the ones that they personally harass. Just in terms of like normal human interaction and knowing if I had to deal with this fucking guy, I too would have a long sigh.
Oh, I don't understand, sir, because you had me
arrested. Shit. Blood Rhino politics. We missed the noise of the sound almost blocked out the David Menzies' "Are you kidding me?" which is very ironic for this segment. As he's calling the police, but in that moment, he was being arrested by the police. I will say, I don't have the... I haven't tuned into any of your streams or anything. Do you stream, Blood Rhino, if you're there? I know he has a podcast, so you should check that out and follow them on Twitter as well. Blood Rhino Politics. Thank you for the follow.
Arrested or served with a summons, rather, for handshaking and laughter back in April.
Nice.
Why did I get that ticket and Mr. Hillier or Mr. Bernier, but the cast and crew of Murdoc Mysteries don't get that kind of a ticket?
I fucking love this. So he's calling the police. He's going, well, why did you ticket me? So he's calling the police officer who ticketed him and being like, well, why did you ticket me when you're letting these actors breathe on each other over here?
Why did Billy get a cookie and I didn't get any? Not fair. Fucking
oh my god. I mean, you were saying the privilege here is like outrageous. Could you imagine, Elron, if a black person did this?
Oh my god, yeah. I think black people have done this, and they've gone to jail.
Yeah.
Gone right to jail. No pass go. Cop shows up saying, well, we know you did this. It's a big offense to do this.
Jeez, it's wild.
Fucking day. Jesus Christ.
It is so wild.
As I've already indicated, Mr. Menzies, I'm not going to comment with respect to your investigation. Is there anything else?
Yeah, what does it feel like to be named Canada's worst police officer, sir?
I can see where you're trying to go here. Again, I'm not going to comment. Okay?
Well, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I'm just asking how you feel about that honor. Hello? Well, there you have it.
So, this being named Canada's worst cop is literally just Ezra just said it on their podcast. That was it. So apparently, because Ezra said it on a podcast, this guy is officially Canada's worst cop. And think about that too. What is being said there? This dude, who's the sergeant of the Peterborough Police, who gave David Menzies a ticket merely for the fact that he was caught without a mask, shaking the hands of people like Maxime Bernier. That makes him the worst cop in all of Canada. When we have police that almost threw him to the ground while he has 2 replacement hips. Even in the, like, Are You Kidding Me segment that played when Bud Rhino followed. Even that was, like, he was tackled to the ground by police because he was stalking Ron McClane. Like, there's other police in this world who have treated him personally much worse. Let alone to say the tons of cops that are shooting and killing people, like harassing people, committing sexual assault, like police officers do, and getting away with it. But they're fine. The worst cop is the one who wrote him a fucking ticket. Being the worst cop in honor award to every... Oh man, wait until Rebel News learns about all those cops that brutalized protesters. Yeah. It's depressing.
Folks, we try to do our earnest due diligence as citizens of Ontario by informing law enforcement of a potential super spreader event, one in which we saw copious quantities of handshaking and laughter. The same kind of
copious amounts. He never showed one instance of handshaking and laughter this whole fucking thing. What a joke.
Handshaking and laughter that got the likes of me ticketed back in Peterborough at an anti-lockdown protest, which I was merely covering as a journalist. Now, we did put in our calls to the Peterborough Police Service and to Canada's worst cop, Staff Sergeant Dan McLean, but they had absolutely no inclination whatsoever to come here to a wonderful CBC production and hand out a ticket like they did to me back in April. So what have we learned here? I guess it is true, more so than ever. One law for thee, one law for me. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies.
One law for thee, another for me, or whatever. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Again, look at all the people over here wearing masks while doing their fucking job. And this smiling buffoon without a mask. Like, it's not that hard. Wear a fucking mask. You know? It's not that you're being, like, selectively targeted. You're just the one actually infringing on, or, like, breaking the law. That's you. You're doing it. Not anyone else. And you could at least, if you have footage that people were doing the things that you think that they're doing, then show it. Instead, you made a false report to the police and are probably not going to receive any consequences for doing it, even though I showed you that it's, for those watching, that it is indeed a criminal offense to do what he did, that he filmed and then put on YouTube. So that's fun. That's totally fun.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.